Good morning, my people, my people, my people. My name is Chief Strongblood St. Vincent and the Grenadines' favorite and most hated son, the diaspora machismo. My people, on February the 21st, 2020 or thereabout, I did a video with about Keithron Mills, the young Byron man who was enlisted in the British Armed Forces and was doing creditably well. Apparently, Keithron Mills was set up by a member in his community who was jealous that he was able to return home from working with the British Army and from going on serious mission, put a gun in a rented vehicle that he had. Keithron Mills was stopped by the police. He voluntarily stopped. The police carried out a search, which he gave them permission to carry out, and they found a pistol or a revolver in his vehicle. Keithron Mills was arrested, charged, and sometime later he was taken to court. He was convicted of having an unlawful firearm in his possession, and Keithron Mills was sentenced to a term of imprisonment. He is still in prison as we speak. My people, the police in their investigation did not carry out any kind of investigation. They did not even do a gunshot residue on Keithron Mills' hands, even though the person who reported him said that he had just fired off the weapon in the Dixon area. People, justice means equal and fair treatment to everyone. On Monday the 5th of September 2022, just Monday gone there, 2 days ago, a young lawyer was stopped, his vehicle was searched, and the police discovered a firearm in that lawyer's vehicle. Apparently, the lawyer was taken into custody because he did not have a permit to carry a firearm. My people, that lawyer was released on Tuesday the 6th from police custody without any charges preferred upon him or her, whoever it is. Let me tell you this. I have a daughter who is a lawyer. It could be my daughter. I am not sure because the name of the lawyer is not mentioned. But what I'm saying here, the police was conducting an investigation as it relates to a few murders that happened over the weekend. Now here we see the police in their effort in conducting an investigation into murders stop a vehicle, search that vehicle, and discovered a firearm in that vehicle. That firearm was an illegal firearm. Yet that lawyer was released from custody without any charge being preferred upon that lawyer. Remember, justice means equal treatment to all, regardless. So how can this be justice if a young man from Byra, who was a part of the armed forces, who was set up, a firearm was discovered in his vehicle? The investigation that was carried out as it relates to Keithron Mills did not merit his conviction because of the circumstances. However, now the police is carrying out an investigation into murder. They discovered this weapon in this young lawyer's vehicle, and he was released, he or she was released, not even a charge preferred against the lawyer. He was released, not even on bail. My people, something is terribly wrong with the justice system in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Because that lawyer should have been released with at least one charge for possession of a firearm. If you have need to drop the charges later, drop the charges later. But you must justify why you are going to drop those charges. Listen to this. Are they sure that the firearm that was discovered in the car of this lawyer was not one of the firearms that was used in the crime that was committed on the weekend? Are they sure that this firearm is not tied to any murders? Did they carry out a ballistic test on this firearm to see if it matches any of the rungs that was recovered from people who were shot and people who were murdered? Remember, we cannot say we don't have the resources to carry out these tests, because we have several Vincentians who were trained in the field of ballistic analysis in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We have Darrow, the sergeant who worked at the Special Service Unit. Even though he is no longer a police, it does not take away from his training and his credential. And not only Darrow, they have other police officers who were a part of the SSU department. And I think, if my memory serves me right, retired Commissioner of Police Hathaway was also trained in ballistic analysis. So how can they release this lawyer by virtue of his LLB, by virtue of his practice as a lawyer? Or did the police in their search carried out an unlawful search? And in so doing, it would have made any discovery, any findings they receive in the search that they carry out unlawful in a court of law. I don't know. But it is highly suspect that a lawyer like Keithron Mills would have been stopped had his vehicle searched like Keithron Mills. A firearm was discovered in this lawyer's vehicle as it was discovered in Keithron Mills' vehicle. But yet, Keithron Mills was arrested, charged, and prosecuted, and this lawyer is allowed to walk free. Something is wrong with this picture. My people, something is wrong with this picture. Remember, we have Ralph Gonsalves, Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves, who is the Minister of National Security in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. He has never spoken on the issue of all of these murders and rapes that are happening in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. But he is the Minister of National Security. Another thing about this thing is that Ralph Gonsalves, the Minister of National Security, is St. Vincent's biggest criminal. He is a rapist. He is a pedophile. He is a murderer. He is a thief. And he is a conspirator. Because he often conspires with criminals to have criminal acts committed on his behalf. My people, hey, the people of Trinidad and Tobago is highly disappointed in their Prime Minister, Keith Rowley. Everybody in Trinidad wants to get rid of Keith Rowley. I am going to propose a trade in leadership. Keith Rowley for Ralph Gonsalves. And I bet if it come up where we are going to trade Keith Rowley for Ralph Gonsalves, Trinidad and Trinidadians is going to see the benefit in keeping Keith Rowley rather than having Ralph Gonsalves as the Prime Minister. No one in the world wants Ralph Gonsalves for the Prime Minister. No one with any sense wants him for a friend. So, we in St. Vincent and the Grenadines is in deep tutu up to our necks. Because there is no justice system, there is no justice. Things are being dealt with arbitrarily in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. There is no standard whatsoever. And Ralph Gonsalves is responsible for all of these foolishness that is happening in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The man is incompetent, he is a dunce, and he don't know what he's doing. He has no idea what he's doing. All he is doing is everything Joshua did, everything Milton Cater did, everything James Mitchell did, he is just repeating it. With no rhyme or reason. With no justification in doing them. That's all he's doing. He has no idea as how to run a small island economy and to manage their resources and to grow their resources. Have no idea whatsoever. The man is an imbecile. I am sorry for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And the unfortunate thing is that the other day he declared that he is going to be mentoring the people of the ministers in his government. He is going to be mentoring them. Look at how Ralph Gonsalves had mentored Montgomery Daniel into a sense of insecurity. Remember just a few weeks ago, I did a video bigging up Montgomery Daniel, and I speak about how he is the first man from an ethnic, from a native group in any part of the world who have reached to the post of being the deputy leader of any country. I big him up because it is an achievement that should have been recognized by the government instead of recognizing this girl being the first female to be in charge of a ministry. She's not even an elected member of the House, but she's getting that recognition of being the first female to head up the Foreign Affairs Ministry. But yet Montgomery Daniel is the first native of any country to sit in the seat of the deputy leader of that country. I big up Montgomery Daniel, but Montgomery Daniel makes some remarks that disappoints me. And I go back to the point that I was making. Look at how Ralph Gonsalves have nurtured Montgomery Daniel into a state of insecurity. The government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines built some houses in we call Overland. For those people who were affected by the volcanic eruption and had their houses destroyed. Small houses. Someone on Facebook and social media spoke about the size of the houses, which is neither here nor there. You cannot believe that Montgomery Daniel will reply to these people who have criticized these houses and calling them, speak about people who live in basement and people who live. This is totally uncalled for a minister of government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. You have bigger things to take care of than to take time out of your busy day to address someone who have criticized the size of a house that you build for the people of your constituency. It's not your money. We understand that this is not a grandiose project, but you cannot be upset with people if they criticize something that you do, something in your community. You have to remember that people have the freedom to express themselves, freedom of speech, freedom of opinion, freedom to hold and share those opinions. You have to remember that you are depending on these same people who are dwelling in basements, families in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, to elect you into government. All you're not thinking, and you know what? This kind of behavior came from Ralph Gonsalves because Ralph Gonsalves in himself is a very insecure man. If you criticize Ralph Gonsalves, he takes it personal. You don't criticize himself, you criticize his action. And everyone is is makes mistakes. Every one of us make mistakes. Every one of us say foolishness. So when someone criticizes you or something that you do, you can't take it personal, Montgomery. Montgomery, you cannot learn the bad things from Ralph Gonsalves. What you going to do next? You're going to start raping people, children? You're going to start raping children, underage children? You're going to start raping women? You're going to put out hate on people because they don't support you and agree with you? You can't learn the negative from people. You have to learn the positive from people, but unfortunately, Ralph Gonsalves has no positive to teach anyone. My people, let us talk all things in one here. I brought this point up some weeks ago. A month or so ago, there was a double murder in Old Montrose. And a retired police officer was on the scene, and he returned fire and injured one of the assailants. That man was taken into custody. Surgery was done on him. Yet, everything dead. Everything went blank. Nothing about this man. This man's identity was not identified. He was not charged. Nothing happened to him. But yet, after that, there were several double murders that took place. Is this man working with Ralph Gonsalves? Are they trying to cover up for this man? What is happening in St. Vincent and the Grenadines? Why we don't have any news about this man who was involved in a double murder in Old Montrose? And from since he was apprehended, weeks after, there was about what? 4 more double murders in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Is he still on the street actively killing people? Is he one of Ralph Gonsalves' hitmen? My people, these are questions what we need to hear answers for. This is question that Dr. Friday should be addressing. This is question Fitz Bramble should be taking care of. Instead of Fitz Bramble taking time to go to the tattoo parlor to get his nipple paste and battling in pain, he should be going out there to find out the identity of this man who was shot by the retired police officer who was involved in a double murder in Montrose. Yes? Fits in something else, you know. Anyway, people, that's all I have to say. Right? That's all I have to say today. My name is Chief Strongblood, St. Vincent and the Grenadines' favorite and most hated son. The diaspora machismo are gone. I think it's not turning off now.